So one of the things that you talked about that you put in here was, and this may fall in line with some of these people that you're bringing on board, is finding your purpose. And so, how can you explain that a little bit deeper of finding your purpose, and how Meals by Grace maybe by itself is helping people find their purpose and finding your purpose.
Well, it's obvious I'm not a young person, so I've got several decades of learning on this. So way back when Rick Warren wrote his book, The Purpose-Driven Life, I read it, and then our church did a sermon series on it, and then I read it again. I mean, right now it's like one of those rubber banded books where the pages are falling out like dog ears, and they're all highlighted. You got notes written off to the side. Everything's underlined at this point. You know, the very first words in the book are, "It's not about me." And I'm like, shattering. So I started way back asking everybody I met, "What's my purpose? Help me find my purpose. What's my purpose?" And people were like, "How do we know what your purpose is? We don't, I don't know
we're not you."
Yeah, we're not you. What's your purpose? You know, they'd ask me all kinds of bizarre questions, and the answer was always, "I don't know. I don't know. I don't know." And so they would finally grind to a halt and go, "Listen, just keep asking, just keep searching. And when God's ready for you to know, he'll tell you." And I'm like, "Great. I'm going to be Moses in the wilderness. I'm going to be 80 years old, and I still don't know my purpose. I don't know what to do with this." And interestingly enough, it's really true. If you are asking and you're open and you watch, when God wants you to know, when he's ready, when you're ready, you'll know. And for me, it was a little bit on the dramatic side, I guess, but God probably knew that's what I needed. It was like all the sound left the room, and I just knew. I knew that I knew that I knew that feeding children was going to be my purpose, which is interesting because growing up, I grew up in West Virginia, so a little tiny state, rather backwoods, hillbillies, mountaineers.
Yeah.
So
moonshine.
Yep. Grew a lot like Kentucky in a lot of ways. Everybody makes fun of somebody, so everybody makes fun of West Virginia. But growing up in the era that I did, there were really two choices for girls. You were a nurse or a teacher, and that wasn't what I wanted to do. I didn't want to do either of those things. I love teaching, but I didn't really want to be a teacher. I really wanted a bakery, but I didn't even know there was such a thing as a baker or a chef. I don't know how I thought pepperoni rolls got made. I just loved them. It's the home of the pepperoni roll and all that. But I loved cooking and baking, and my earliest memories are of standing on a stool with an apron with my grandmother, making things. But that wasn't offered as an option to me. I loved graph paper and drawing. Give me a pencil and a ruler and I was happy for hours. But girls, I couldn't even take drafting in school. So I didn't understand how to even find my purpose. But I would tell people who don't know their purpose, don't ever quit searching. Because when you find it, it lights up your world. It's the difference in black and white and color.